All right, what's up, folks? Game Josh here. Today we are playing a. It's not going to be a let's play. I'm just going to kind of do a walkthrough of this game that's popular on Steam now. It's called Adventure Communist. It's made by Hyper Hippo Games. I've been playing it for just a little bit now, and it is in alpha. Well, it's in beta. It's an open beta, but it's a pre-release edition. So what that means is at any time now they could reset everything and you start all over again, which they just did in January, I believe, and we just started all over again. And this is where we're at now. They have changed and made a lot of changes to the game, some good, some bad. For overall, this I think this new version's a little bit better than 1.5. But let's take a look and see what we're doing here. So we are, of course, leaders of a communist organization, and we are gathering 5 different things. We have potatoes, land, ore, weapons, and medicine, and these help us build other things that help us gather these all together. Okay. And when you start out with nothing. Of course, these are huge numbers now. 1 times 10 to the 45 potatoes, 3 times 43 pieces of land, 2 times 10 to the 40th ore. Medicine, as much as this looks like it is still very, 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 very behind the other 4. And that's one of the balancing things that I think they could do a little bit better with. But overall, it kind of makes sense because the communists would lack medicine, so it would be a more rare commodity and make it harder to get, which makes it challenging, of course. So let's talk about some of the things that we need to do every day. I come in and hit claim here. This is new in version 1.6 that you always get 1 colony and they give you scientists. And you can see I have a bunch saved up here that we are going to demonstrate something, I hope. So we claim those, and now we're at, it gives us 10 a day. So, or 10 every 6 hours. Every 6 hours, this resets. Right now, I do not think that there is any reason to buy these cloning labs communist ideal, which would increase this amount. So if you let's, for example, we click on this, it says you need 3 divisions. You'll lose all your weapons, all your soldiers, all your fire teams, all your squads, all your platoons, and more importantly, all your unlocks. That's the kicker on why I don't think that this is worth using just yet. Maybe in the future if there's a need to get more scientists, because you can see I did buy half of these, but you get a fair amount of these every day. So I don't think that and of course you can always buy them and support the game, which I recommend to to help the developers out and pay, give them something to eat. They don't make these games for free. But anyway, this is, so each one of these has a certain situation like this as this increases, I think it's going to increase exponentially. So the next one would be 6 divisions. The next one would be 18 divisions. I could be wrong. I've never done that, so don't take my word for this. But this is going to get more and more and more and more to the point where you want to have a bunch of these backed up so that you can just buy a whole bunch at once, and then you'll reset. But this amount, 65,000 of these, which we'll explain in a minute what these do, is not a lot to do. It's not worth losing all this. All this and all your unlocks. So we're going to hit no cancel. Okay. Still, the number 1 commodity that is hard to get, but it's a whole lot easier in this build, is comrades. And as you can see, this is just from yesterday. I play every day. I'm getting a good amount. I think in build 1.5, it would take quite a considerable time to get 293 million comrades. And we'll explain where that comes into in just a minute. Okay, so the first thing, these scientists, they help you get unlocks, experiments that kind of boost your production. And you can see this, of course, this one was pretty nice. Potato boost times 9999, and that was a big one in the early game. So explain where we're going to unlock first. Of course, the first thing you want to unlock is this button right here. I can't remember how much it costs. It's not very much. But what this does, okay, so if you click here, it makes potatoes. If you click here, it gets land. And as this fills up, you know, you get more off this auto clicker. And you can kind of, well, we'll explain this here, blinking here in a minute. But the first one, if you click Run All Industries, it makes them all go up. So that's very important there to get first. And then, throughout the scientists, I would work on industry here for a little while. I would at least get these first here. I've gotten a lot more, but then again, I've been doing this for a few months. Might get into this. I probably wouldn't get anything past Band-Aids here for nurses. I still need to buy this one, but nurses is something that I don't keep a lot of. So, and I'll explain that in a minute. So that's why I did not buy this boost here. Right now, in the future, I might, but right now, that's not the case. And you get as these unlock, and the unlocks are pretty simple. Actually, I have, I have all these farmer unlocks here because it's 10 to the 34th. So when you get, and let's look at these unlocks for farming. It starts at 50, 100. Then every exponential power, it goes up. So this is 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3. And you get comrades and farmers. And this plus 3 farmers per second, all this does, it's commutative. Because you already have plus 2. All it really is adding 1 more farmer per second. It's not adding 3 more. They also, the company has said that they need to reward what this actually does. But what it does is instead of, this is already times 9999999. But look here and see what Hive does. Right, this mini makes 505 plantations, and the plantations make these, and these make these. But if I buy 1 more hive, you can see that went up 7. Every time I bought a hive, that goes up 7. If I had that next unlock, it would go up 8. It would automatically, 1 hive would make 8 things instead of 7 things. That's what that unlock does. And this one is still very young here, because this one is nowhere near this. Right, 72,000 is nowhere near 32 billion, which is what this number is right here, 3 times 10 to the 10. Okay, so back to unlocks here. Back scientists, I mean, I would buy everything up to this nurses. Okay, and then I would save a little bit. Save them up a little bit and get, let me see if I think it's in state. Oh, you need this auto clicker. Only buy 1 auto clicker, and that's what I was going to say about. Let's talk about this auto clicker. They have found that this auto clicker is bugged if you buy more than 1. Okay, if you buy more than 1, there's no guarantee that you'll have an auto clicker on this. But if you buy 1, it is a big, and it does work, and you can see it. That's that flash right there. That's the auto clicker. You can see how that's flashing. So every time that flashes, you're bringing in this many potatoes, which is almost as much as the farmers bring in. So that's pretty good. Okay, and this is a lot faster than where you start at. I think this starts at 5 seconds, and now it's less than a second. And that's the next upgrade that I recommend getting. After you get the auto clicker, I would not use these blast buttons. I don't think they're worth using, but that's not in this, it's in state. So the auto clicker, the resource surges, I would not use as well either. But this propaganda, and that's what I have. I have 2 of these. I can tell you for a fact that the clinics start at 30 seconds, and now they're at 4. Now these, so now instead of waiting 30 seconds for these to hit, I only have to wait 4, and that's about to go way up because we're about to test a theory and see how well this next one down here is going to be. We're going to get this, and I thought this said all resources speed times 2, but I read it again and realized it's 21. So that's what we're going to buy here. This glorious speech. and really test out the how fast this goes up. But 400 scientists is well worth this. It will speed up. I bought one with the package, and then I bought one on my own. Actually, I bought this on my own before I decided to buy the. It's not there anymore, but if you go to shop and you haven't bought it yet, there's a introduction package that's like $6.99. Definitely recommend purchasing that, because like you get 1,000 scientists, which paid for half of this, and then I've saved the rest of these. Okay, so comrades. Well, look how many comrades I get per second now, and that's from these unlocks. That's huge. I thought 1,000 was going to be nice. Now it's at 5282 per second. So these are piling in at 5,282 per second, and we don't really have much of the medicine unlocks. You're going to get this one to 10 to the 8, most likely, easily. I would not store on these because they just don't make enough. They don't make enough medicine, not compared to a clinic. And you're really going to need medicine. And the only thing you need medicine for is to build hospitals. But you're going to need an insane amount of these. As you see, I've only got 46 clinics. Because it's the comrades that slow this down. Because you need nurses to build ambulances. And then resources to build field hospitals and clinics. These cost, this whole row here is a different kind of cost. Because they cost, instead of actually material other than medicine, they cost the actual unit. Which at this level in the game is fine, because 25 of these people here on the second row. Look how many I have. So 25 is nothing. Okay, so, and even 25 hives. Well, if you look at hive, even 25 hives isn't much in the scheme of things. By the time that this gets up to the point where, one, this makes enough medicine to actually supply, and we're actually making, this isn't the prime source of medicine. This auto clicker still is. That's running in the background that you can't see it because there's no color in this. But if there was a little bit, if it was a little bit closer to 10 to the 30th, you would see it flash like you do here. See, and I can show you that it does work here in a minute. But first, every day I do the Run All Industries. Now, this is not a tutorial on how to build an auto clicker, but I have one, and you can Google it. Google auto clicker, and there's a bunch out there. I'm not going to recommend any, or a lot of people don't. I mean, they're not really supposed to be used, but I use them. So I click this button, and it's here and runs all industries. Until we get all these capsules open, and all the capsules I've seen so far, that's really loud, all the capsules I see so far only give scientists, unlike the last version 1.5 where they gave, which I thought was huge, because they would give large amounts of nurses and you could build those up. But now there's no reason to save nurses or any of that other stuff now that this is built this way. So let's run through these real quick. I usually get about 60 of these every day off of this auto clicker here. It's once a day. Right now it's running at midnight GMT, which is about 6 p.m. my time and Central Standard Time. I live in Texas. So 6 p.m. is when this resets. You can tell if you're ready to reset, which is what I really like about this version, is this daily drops here. This was not in 1.5. This is a good addition. So as you can see, I still have a bunch of capsules remaining to get for the day. And we'll get those real quick. one more. So when I started, I focused mostly. Oh, there's two more. One after this. I started mostly on potatoes and land, mainly to get the unlocks for potatoes and land, and those unlocks give comrades, which I think was a pretty important upgrade to have. To the point where I finally had enough potatoes and land to build a hive. And we got one more here. Yep, one more. And then, actually, after I got the hive, I quit focusing on potatoes. I bought a couple extra, but you can see that I bought a lot more other things as well. Okay, so because for a hive, all you need is 10 to the 22nd potatoes and 10 to the 17 land and 1,000 plantations. And that is nothing. Once this gets to 1,000 per second, like 1,000 here, you can go away and come back and buy all the plantations you want for nothing, and they'll reproduce these. So I would start focusing on potatoes, and you would get the unlocks for potatoes, which is, you know, that they go off and on. They change everything here, and we have a lot to go here still to get more unlocks for comrades per second, but that's coming way down the line. We might do another. I don't know if we'll get all the unlocks before they reset the game again and decide to do something different. But there's some. I'm still at 10 to the 25th on this, and we can add more. But right now, once you get to that point where the hives, where you get, I would say 10,000. I bought more than I originally planned on buying, but once you get this to about 10,000, I would focus more on land, because you're going to need a lot of land. And land also brings up the fact that you need weapons and medicine. But right now, the number one source of medicine for me is the auto clicker. So I'm not really focusing that much on medicine. I am now. For a long time, I wasn't worried about medicine at all. At all. I didn't touch medicine until way, other than what the auto clicker builds up, because this will just accumulate, right? And then you can, you know, get your upgrades, and now it's making 4.29 times 10 to the 23, which is still nothing compared to what I need to build a hospital. You need 10 to the 30th, and we're almost there. We're at 10 to the 28, but it's not quite where I need. And that's fine, because we need a ton of clinics here, you know, to make that happen. Before we build the hospital, because you would lose all these clinics, 500 apiece. They cost 500 clinics. This is huge, because I've been playing this game as long as I have, and I only have 46 clinics. So I would let these build up to the point where they're a real supporter before you even start buying hospitals, because 100 comrades per second is, for 4 seconds, is nothing compared to what you're getting here. Okay, so keep that in mind. I mean, yes, it's great to get another comrade source, but that's a lot. Okay, this is really going to be more of an unlock kind of thing in the future, because the unlocks for clinics are huge. Let's take a look at the unlocks for clinics here. Even at 50, you get 100 hospitals per second, which would double your production. So instead of one hospital makes 100, this would make it 200, and then it goes up, you know, 300, 500. It goes up exponentially, really, really high, and then to the point where, if you have this many hospitals, which I don't think that's going to be the case in my lifetime, maybe, you will be making that's a lot of comrades per second. Okay, per click. It's going to be per second as soon as I buy this other upgrade, because this, even though it's 4 seconds right now, it's divided by 21, is going to take this. These are all going to boom really quick. Okay, which I'm very looking forward to, because I've been building these up for quite some time now. Now, the one downfall about weapons is that to make a division, you need 10 to the 26 medicine. So this is kind of a downfall. That's why this one's the smallest. And actually, I'm just going to get this to 10 to the 10,000, and I'm going to lay off buying these and let my medicine accumulate a little bit. This is 1 day, so that's not too bad. Okay, but I want to let it. So I'm going to make this 100%, and all I can get is 292 based on that. You can see that number one. So there, that's all the divisions I can buy. And then what I would do from there is buy as many ambulances and field hospitals and clinics I can buy. All right, so now we'll take this down to 50% here and get some nurses, and then take this back up to 100% and get some more clinics. So we're getting like 2 or 3 clinics a day because, well, I'll take this back to 50%. I don't think we're going to have enough to get another hospital, but maybe. Yeah, another clinic. There's an unlock at 50, which I'd really like to get, but we're going to go ahead and tap all of these off. So then when I come back on, these will be built back up based on the comrades. And we just spent 294 million comrades in like 3 seconds. So all these other things are good. They don't need it. We don't need anything else here. So I do want to improve them every day. After this is at 10,000, I would probably work on potatoes, hive, the 100,000 hive unlock, but I'd only run 10%. That's why that 10%'s there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this next upgrade and see just how fast. And I want to use medicine as an example, and then we'll conclude the video. So right now we're at 4 seconds per click. Let's see what this wonderful, the industry speed should be times 27, I hope. So here it goes. Glorious speech, 2,000. So it's at 27, and let's see what's booming now. Look at that. Less than a second. A little over a second. And these are just freaking unreal fast. So now that just really greatly increased. Now, I don't think that there's any need to buy any more of those, but could it get faster? Is there a pot where it doesn't get faster anymore? I don't know. It's like Adventure Capitalist. If you ever played that, when the solid, you know, it used to slide when you're making stuff, and then you get to a certain point where it's just a solid bar. Will this be just a solid bar? It's not right now. You can see it. It's booming. Okay, and these potatoes are just going to go nuts. And this auto clicker is even faster, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But if the auto clickers, you see that moving up there? That's the auto clicker. See how that's counting up? Because this is only making 18. There's no way that this, and it's not even as fast as that, is going to move that 10 to the 26th. But no, we can buy a little more, some more divisions here, and get that up. So this is Adventure Communist. If you like the game, it's 100% free on Steam. There's going to be a link below. Check it out. If you get a chance, these guys, they're really good about listening to the people and listening to what kind of game you want, and changing things with communication and that kind of sort of thing. So definitely get involved with a good gaming company. They have a lot of games out there. Hyper Hippo is a pretty good company. So, and they're really friendly with their gamers, which they should be. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy Adventure Communist. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. I'm AMF.